Hello and welcome to Living Outside the Box, a podcast associated with Outside the Box Consulting. I'm Dr. Benjamin Bowman, and I'm so glad to have you continuing on this journey of learning to lead and to live outside the box, outside of those conventional assumptions that the world might place upon us, not just as leaders, but as individuals. I want to start today's podcast by announcing some big news, and you may have seen it on our website, www.outsidetheboxconsulting.org, and the social media posts that have been coming out. But I am excited to announce the first ever published book that I have written, God Can Use You. And I highly encourage you to go to Amazon.com and you can pick up your copy of God Can Use You there at Amazon. This is a book that tells my story in general terms of how I have experienced limitations and being put in the box by the world, by people in this world, in different spheres that I've been part of, in different moments in my life. And it's a story of overcoming through God's help, those limits. God can use each one of us. Each one of us listening today can be an instrument, can be part of what God is doing, whether it's in church life, in organizations, in leadership, in your family. God has a plan and a purpose for you. And so God Can Use You is a wonderful way for each one of us to be reminded on every page that is written that God is able to overcome any limits that we perceive or any limits that have been placed upon us. God can overcome those things. We can live and lead outside the box. This world tends to want people to conform to its ways, to think like it does. We sometimes stifle creativity and innovation when we expect people to be a certain type of leader, that all leaders are going to behave or act a certain way. We neglect the creativity, the uniqueness, and the unique giftings and abilities that each person brings to the table when they have the opportunity to lead. And so in this book, God Can Use You, I wanted to remind each reader that they play a critical part. You play a critical part in what God is doing. You'll hear my story, like I said, in general terms, and you'll be invited to hear your own story through what God has done and what God wants to do in and through you. Leadership is a calling. Being a leader is something that each one of us must step into. We may lead as like a CEO, but we also may lead right where we're planted in our family. We may lead in our church. We may lead in other areas of life, volunteer work, and the like. God has a plan, and each one of us is called to be a leader. We should never let the world put us in a box. We should never accept limitation as a disqualifier to leadership. We should see those areas where we may perceive or be told there are limitations as opportunities to show that through all things God is possible. God's plan is possible. Through all things, God's plan is possible. He will not leave you nor forsake you. He made you for a purpose, and He can use you. There are times in my life where people have asked, even recently at a conference, someone asked if I ever perceived people being jealous that God was doing things in my life and using me in certain leadership roles, even though I have a disability. And they asked, have I ever experienced people being jealous or even trying to be petty about that? And my answer is yes. Many times in my life, I have experienced where people thought I should just be in the box. That, how can someone with a disability be doing the things he's doing? I've even experienced where people tried to put me back in the box after I was in some sort of leadership role. And I want to share that while that's not a way we should treat one another, when we understand that this world wants the box, they want to put people in those parameters because that's what they know, then it's okay to expect that, but it's not okay to accept it. It's okay to expect it because the world is as it is, but it's not okay to accept it because we need to be willing to step outside those parameters. We don't want to conform. We want to transform. Transformational leadership is all about being unique, leading uniquely, seeing the unique abilities of others, and being a catalyst for transformation in their lives. Conformity is one way that people try to live inside the box. Transformation allows someone to step into the freedom of living and leading outside the box. So, yes, people have asked that question, do people get jealous? And yes, the answer is yes, they do. It's never fun when that happens, of course, but I use it as a moment to show that it's God doing these things. And as someone told me the other day, God has made each one of us. He's made me for more. He's made each one of us for more. So I want to share with you just that final thought. This is a bit of a shorter podcast, but that's okay. I want to share with you that final thought that God can use you, that He has a plan, that He has a purpose, that He wants you to take that first step and step outside the box, to be willing to live in innovative ways, to create, to think differently, to live into the unique abilities that He's given you as a leader, whether that's the ways that you think about problems and solutions, whether that's the way that you relate to people, whatever those unique gifts and abilities are. God wants you to step outside the box and use them. And my encouragement to you is to do just that today. Take that first step to say, you know what? I want to be a transformational leader. I want my life to not only leave a legacy, but I want it to change someone else. I want it to multiply leadership through the generations. I want to be an agent of transformation. And the very first way you do that is realizing that you have a purpose and that God can use you, regardless of what your past is, regardless of mistakes you've made. God can use you. Hold on to that truth. And as we continue through this journey of what it means to live and to lead outside the box, we will come back to this theme over and over again and again. But today, know that you have a purpose. And I encourage you again to pick up a copy of the book. It will give you some valuable questions to reflect on. It will help you to focus on not being strong, but allowing God to use you in your weakness. Friends, thank you so much for listening. Hit that like and subscribe on Spotify and now YouTube. And tune in next time where we will continue this journey of finding out different ways that we can learn to lead and to live outside the box. I'm Dr. Ben Bowman. I'm here for you, and I look forward to continuing this journey with you.